Frozen. I don't even know how to classify Frozen in the fairy tale world. It is supposedly based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen, but frankly, that would only seem to count if it was The Snow Queen as retold by a couple of 6th graders on a book report that was due the day after they stayed up until 2 o'clock making TikTok videos. The real Snow Queen story apparently has a queen as the villain. She's got a fleet of snow bees. We've got kids named Kai and Gerda. There's some crows involved. It's not Frozen. In our version, and spoiler alert here if you haven't been dragged to the theater yet, we're off to Arendelle, a place with all the snowy charm of western New York, but without the disheartening obligation to root for the Buffalo Bills. There we find a king and a queen with 2 daughters, one of whom has the special talent of shooting snow and ice out of her fingers. The other one, well, maybe she's good at Sudoku. These 2 sisters, Elsa and Anna, grow up happily together, right until Elsa drills little sis in the head with an ice bolt. Apparently that's bad for your health. Mom and Dad are concerned, but they know what you do in this kind of situation. You take your kid to see a grandfather troll in the woods. It was on Dr. Oz. Gramps, the geriatric troll, fixes things up for Anna, but notes that Elsa might want to steer clear of visitors in case her out-of-control ice blasting becomes a problem. She safely hides in her room for a while, say 10 or 15 years, but tragedy strikes when Ma and Pa set sail for a wedding and get wiped out in a shipwreck. That forces Elsa to stop playing Fortnite all day and take over as queen. Things then get worse when she turns into a human ice dispenser at the coronation, which does help with the bartending expenses, but generally isn't recommended by most event planners. Freaked out by this development, Elsa runs off, but not before telling Anna that no, you cannot marry this Hans dude who showed up for the ceremony and instantly opened the door to a musical proposal. Elsa also accidentally plunges all of Arendelle into a permanent winter on her way out of town. Nice bonus. With Elsa living on her own in a swanky ice palace, Anna heads out on a mission to rescue her. Anna brilliantly leaves Prince Hans in charge of Arendelle. More on that fine decision in a minute. She charges off into the blizzard, packed more appropriately for a weekend in Palm Springs, but does link up with a fellow named Kristoff who at least owns some snow pants. And his own reindeer. He helps Anna find her way to Elsa's castle, adding a talking snowman/climatology expert named Olaf to their group along the way. Now, when the intrepid travelers reach Elsa's place, the welcome they receive isn't exactly a warm one. I suppose nothing is terribly warm in an ice palace, but you get the idea. Elsa flips on the no vacancy sign and sends her guests off with a couple of fine parting gifts, namely a big mean snow monster chasing them, plus an accidental ice shot through the heart for Anna. Kristoff takes Anna back to the Troll Medical Clinic, where Dr. Gramps, MD, says that the only treatment that will save the day for Anna is an act of true love, preferably from an in-network provider unless she wants to pay a huge deductible. Anna figures her problems are now solved, since all she needs to do is make it back to Arendelle, where Hans can unload some true love and save her. Good plan, except that Hans is currently in the process of thinking up a plan where he's going to kill Anna and take over Arendelle himself, so this plan is not going to work. Also, Anna is on the verge of turning into ice. Everything finally culminates in one dramatic scene, shockingly set in a snowstorm. Kristoff realizes that he's the one in love with Anna and comes racing back to save her, arriving just in time to instead get distracted by Hans chasing after Elsa with a sword. At the last second, though, a shivering Anna jumps in front of the fatal swing, simultaneously saving her sister and also freezing to death. Shucks. But wait just a second, Disney viewers. If you read the fine print, apparently diving in front of the jerk that's trying to kill your sister qualifies as an act of true love. That brings Anna back to life, just in time to knock Hans out of commission with a right cross to the nose. Elsa then suddenly figures out how to turn up the thermostat, thaws out Arendelle, and even saves Olaf from climate change with a personal snow cloud. Meanwhile, Anna realizes that she is in love with Kristoff the reindeer man, and Elsa conveniently gives him a job so he can stay in town. Everything looks hunky-dory. Of course, this is only because the movie ends before Elsa is chased out of town when the commoners lose their marbles from seeing one too many 6-year-olds singing Let It Go.